All right, I'm on hole number 6 of the Silver State Tournament. I'm in the opening round of the rookie division. Let's go to Golf Clash Notebook and check out hole number 6. Oh, I haven't gotten the albie on this hole all week long, and I'm feeling we're all over it. And I'm not too disappointed with where I'm at. I haven't. I've just been playing kind of flat. Been playing the minimum score 11, picking up one -12 in my practice account. I shot a -25 for the round in the opener. So I'm just starting to get into a rhythm on it, and that's really kind of where I want to be. I've had tournaments in the past, and I'm sure if you played the game a lot, you've had tournaments in the past where you peak you got kill it in the qualifier, and you smoke it out in the opening round, and then you're just completely burned out and run flat in the weekend round. And I'm trying to, it's just like being any athlete. You're trying to peak at the right time. You're trying to peak in the final, not peak in the qualifier. So I'm kind of liking where stuff is heading. I'm starting to get a grip on the par fours, and I'm still trying to dial in the par threes. Haven't hit a hole in one all week, so I'm not disappointed with that. You'll get in those streaks where you'll get those hole in ones. All of a sudden you'll pop out a couple, and I really want that to be in the weekend round. All right, so I'm going to get out into this area right here, and I've got choices here. I'm going to you can use a 3-side spin ball. For the drive, it's best if you use a 3-side spin ball. You can go in the Quasar Katana Kingmaker range. The 3-side spin ball is going to help you out on the second shot, or excuse me, the 3 power ball is going to help you out on the second shot, so that if you're trying to do the rough bump, it'll get you deeper into that hole. One of my viewers asked me the other day, we were having the conversation, it's Mitchum, and asked about, okay, so I was up here on the green. Let me get closer to the green here. So I was up here on the green, and I didn't bring a 3 power ball. I brought a 2 power ball, and where my red line was at, I was a little bit short of where I really wanted to be. So the wind's blowing in this direction, and so I pulled back, and the question that he had is that I could have pushed it forward a little bit more and picked up the wind that I needed. But here's the deal. Here's the flagpole. Let me see if I can get even closer. So here's the flagpole. Let's draw some angles here. So here's the flag, and here's where I was at. And I moved the ball back to adjust for the wind, so the wind's going to push me forward. But I felt like I was a little short of where I wanted to be. So I could have pushed the ball forward to pick up that wind. But when you do that, now your angle's off from the green, so you've actually pushed yourself past it. Even though you picked up that wind you're looking for, your angle now, because the wind's blowing this direction and you pulled it out perfectly, and then you pushed it forward a little bit. So now when it comes through, you're going to be off in this situation here. You're going to be off to the right of the cup, and so you can add that wind back in, but you have to adjust for that. That when you push it forward, it could throw you off the cup because you picked up the wind. Now you where you want to be, but you can end up pulling yourself off the cup. So my response to the original question, because I did misinterpret the question the first time, is that the way to solve that problem is to bring a 3 power ball. So you're not bringing necessarily the 3 power ball for the drive. The drive you can get done with anything. Although if you use a lower power ball and you don't have a lot of topspin, you could end up behind these trees. Now you can hit between them, but it's better if you have a clear shot and you're coming at it at a steeper point. Whereas if you're out here and you're coming at the green, it's a little bit shallower over here for that rough bump. So the 3 power ball is not absolutely necessary for the drive, but it will help you out on the second shot, especially if you're doing the rough bump. So let's go back into Golf Clash. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna take my Acura bag. And I really like to take my rock, but I know a lot of people don't have a rock, and I've been practicing this all week with my QB. I did play this in some of the practice with the rock, and the rock can get you way up there. Way up there. You definitely don't need a 3 power ball on the drive with the rock. And I'm going to bring a Kingmaker. Let's see if we got a Kingmaker lookalike here. We got some rival balls. We got some rival balls. That's a Kingmaker lookalike. And you can do this with a Titan. I'm bringing the Kingmaker because I want to help cut the wind down. So it's helping me out on the drive because it gives me 3 side spin. It gives me 3 power so that I can make it to the rough on the other side, and it's helping cut the wind down. So you can use a Titan on this, but if you use a Titan, you definitely want to hit it perfect. Or even great to the right. But if you start hitting it great to the left and you don't have upper developed clubs, then you may run into a little bit of a problem. Let's make sure. I gotta look one more time. Okay, that's the right bag. Off we go. Three Putt Masters. Is it Matt? Hopefully everybody's having a good tournament so far. It's going to be, I think, you know, we look at some of the scores that are out there. If you're still shooting the minimum score, minus 11, so it'd be minus 22, minus 11, minus 22, minus 22, you're still looking at netting a really high finish. You may be like normally, I would say, with just the minimum score, you're looking at, you know, in most brackets, you're going to net a top 20, top 15 in a lot of brackets. Here, it may go up just a little, maybe top 25 in a lot of brackets, but you're still going to be up there in the, more than likely, towards the top 20. But the top 5, top 8 in some of these brackets are going to be definitely having picked up some, and the top 3 are going to be absolutely crazy. One of my teammates, Joe Golf, and I have had a conversation on our chat that I really think that in the weekend round, even a minus 30 might not win you this tournament, because it's going to be crazy. There's tons of opportunities. If somebody's on that day and they're on their game, they're going to pop out a monster score. So it's a pure setup shot. Hitting it perfect. 3 rings off, take out the wind, max side spin. 4 top spin. The reason it's 4 top spin and you go, wow, you still had a little bit of distance right there, is if I would have hit it great to the left, I would have been right up against that ref over there. So this is the deal right here. So my opponent was able to easily get out to where they wanted to get to with a lower power ball, so the lower power ball did not hurt them on the drive. So sometimes you go, hey dude, you don't need one of those big balls for that drive. Well, you might be right, but you might want that big ball for the second shot, because right now they would be loving a 2 or a 3 power ball, because they wouldn't have to do any overpower on a rough bump on that steep of a hill. Because that is, as my nephew would say, no bueno. Right down here on it. I want to be about 2 rings off, which puts me right on the deal, and I want to put just a sliver, a sliver of topspin. I still want to be 2 rings off. I'm going to go right at the cup. 2-4, 100% accurate club, 2.4 rings. You need to hit it perfect. And hit it great to the left, which will engage a little bit more of that rough, so it'll throw me short. That was right there. You did that perfect. When you're doing those rough bumps too, and when we get done with this, I'll draw the arc out. So sometimes you hit a great to the left or the right when you're doing a rough bump, and you end up it's different. You're like, wow, what was wrong with that shot? And there probably wasn't anything wrong with that shot other than the fact that you hit it great to the left or the right. Nice shot. Nice shot. Good job. Hitting it perfect. Eagle. I like the first 2 par 5s. We definitely got eagle opportunities. Very easy eagle opportunities, and we have serious Albie opportunities. So those first 2 par 5s, really kind of working the deal. Making sure you bring the right equipment. Bring equipment that will enhance what you're trying to get accomplished. So if you're trying to do that rough bump, bringing the right equipment for it will definitely enhance what you're doing. Good luck in the tournament. So let me go back to Golf Clash Notebook here real quick. So let's pull in the deal. So we're looking at the rough bump. So when you're coming in at this angle. And so this is the, if you draw an arc, like your club can hit into an arc. So like if you were over here, here's max. If you're over here, here's max. And you know, from whatever angle you're at, that this is the max line that goes along this. So you're aiming towards this spot right here. So you've got your arc that goes along here, and you're aiming towards this spot right here, and you hit a great to the left or the right. Well, you hit a great to the left, and now if you take that arc on the trajectory, you're hitting deeper into the rough. And you hit it great to the right, now you're hitting up towards the fringe. So if you hit a great to the left or the right, if you hit it perfect, it dribbles out and it goes right towards the cup. You hit it great to the left, and you're like, wow, it ended up short. Maybe I needed to add something on there. I would tell you to be very careful before making any serious changes when you hit a great, because you're at a different point in the arc, especially on a rough bump. So when you hit this, you're hitting deeper into the rough here, so it may hold the ball up and you may just dribble out here on the fairway or the fringe, and you're like, wow, I didn't have enough on that. And then you add something to it, and then the next time you hit it perfect and you end up over here. So always remember that especially when you're doing rough bumps, that this arc can play a factor on when you're doing those great to the left or the right. It's not as big an issue when you're hitting a drive. But when you're going for these shots that are going into the green and you're doing this type of a rough bump on here, you're going to get a different effect depending on whether you hit it to the left, to the right, or perfect, because of where you're engaging that hill face. So that's why sometimes if you hit it like that, because one of my teammates, Mike, asked me about the deal, and it's just be cognizant that when you're hitting, that there is an arc out here. It's not a flat line, and if you hit it here, you're going to get the same effect. Okay? I was thinking about that, and I wanted to make sure I, at some point in my videos, covered that today. All right, that was hole number 6 of the Silver State Tournament in the opening round of the Rookie Division. Thanks for watching.